大家好
and welcome to
White Gaze,
where we white gaze upon the drama,
the looks,
and the language of our newest favorite Chinese television show, Empresses in the Palace, otherwise known as...
Zhen Huan Zhuan.
So close!
What's wrong with it?
It's always the end.
The last one.
It's not Zhuan, it's Zhuan.
Zhuan.
Yes.
Zhen Huan Zhuan.
Attack it.
Yeah.
And today we are jumping straight into the drama of episode 11.
In the last episode, we saw the fall of... What's her new title?
Yu Guan Nuzi.
Guan Nuzi.
Yeah.
Lower than Dai Ying.
Yes, lower than Dai Ying.
She wasn't killing herself, and so...
And
Ling Rong went all the way to Pudong to tell the eunuchs that they needed to take care of it.
Yes, and take care of it they did.
And then at the end of the episode, we see Ling Rong comes back, and Shen Meizhuang and Zhen Huan are sitting there talking about her. Like, this is not our friend. This is not this is not the Ling Rong that we know.
And that's exactly where we pick up. And she's still outside overhearing the conversation where Shen is really coming for her, saying, this is not the girl that I met who spilled the tea on the first day. This is darkness, and I'm worried about it. And Zhen Huan is a little more, no, it's okay. But either way, Ling Rong, her eyes fill with tears, and she leaves without even going inside.
Want to know what? No, I am going to leave.
She's heard all of this gossip about her, and she runs away. I wanted her to bust in there and be like, Tiffany Pollard.
I would like to think that I would do the same. Like, I would bust in there and, like, say some shit, but I don't know if I would.
Because I think she is maybe feeling a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. In the next scene, we see Hua Fei. She's in her pajamas, and she's eating watermelon. And, like, she's eating it with, like, a metal stick.
It's very erotic watermelon, because she's stabbing it, and they're already kind of penis-shaped. She stabs it, and then she gets it into her mouth, and she goes, oh.
Were they really eaten with metal skewers in the 1800s?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a historian, but I would like to eat watermelon in this way. Actually, I did eat watermelon in this way. Do you remember?
No.
When we met up with the girls at the West Bund, and I brought that gigantic watermelon, but I had no spoons, I just had the knife.
Yeah.
And so I would just cut the knife and then just stab the watermelon, and we were just eating it off the knife.
Well, the skewer is not... I don't think that's an issue. Eating with the skewer, it's like making little fruit kebabs. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that seems like a little out of time, period.
Okay, historical podcast. We're giving history now. We'll have to check in on that. But she is in a pissed off mood, and Songjer is there fanning her. There's a big bucket of ice.
Whenever I first saw that, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like quartz or something. It was just like that they're vibing. They're vibing.
They're clearing the aura in the room. But she's really mad about the recent developments. And so she's asking Songjer, what is the tea? And Songjer says that basically Yu Guan Nuzi's neck was ripped off, and they threw her into the mass grave, and she was very ruthlessly killed, and it was very scary.
And then Hua Fei says, those men without root, she means penis, can be so decisive. You even dared to offend the emperor's personal servants. She deserves her ending. Did she leak anything about me?
Yeah, so she really clearly does not care about Yu dying. She's just really worried about what has been revealed about her in her throes of death. Like, as she was being killed, did she say, Hua Fei told me to do it? And Songjer says, no, nothing like that happened. And Hua Fei feels a little bit better, but she's like, we've underestimated this sickly Zhen Huan. We'll have to keep our eyes out for her.
Yeah, we got to look out for her.
I do have a question, and this is sort of like a fact-checking. I remember that when she was going to be killed and the emperor was giving the order, he said that her body could be taken back to her family.
That's what they decided.
But why is it now she's being reported being thrown into the mass grave? That's what I'm confused about.
She was only sentenced to death after he found out that she was lying about being in the garden.
Yes.
And he was like, but we'll make it suicide so you can go, we can take your body to your family.
Right.
I feel like something was mentioned about that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either, girl. Jin Shuijia, if you can get on this and tell us why her body did not get to go back to her family, we would be very appreciative because we missed it. And maybe they told us in the episode, but we did not catch it. However, in the next scene, Zhen Huan is once again woken up by a thunderstorm.
She calls for Jinxi.
Who is just there, waiting to be called.
It's like, was she not asleep? Because she just gets right up.
She gets right up,
what
her hair is did.
Right?
Her earrings are in, and she says, yes, Zhen Huan, what's that? I mean, she must be just, like, attending, like, waiting up all night, but then when does she sleep?
Exactly, because we always see her. She's always there.
Unless do they take turns?
Maybe. Jinxi is not getting her pay docked. She's there.
She's there, happily.
At whatever time this is. You know what? They probably go to bed at 10 o'clock.
Well, famously...
Like normal humans.
Like normal humans. Famously, they don't have television, so they don't have much to do. But Zhen Huan is not just disturbed by the thunderstorms. She's disturbed by these paranoid thoughts that it's not over.
Yeah, because she's thinking, she's like, you was just a maid. How does she know how to measure out medicine like this?
Exactly.
How does she know that this medicine is going to make me dumb?
How could she arrange for the glory hole in the wall and the secrecy of it all?
Well, because was she already in the Cold Palace or she got...
She was already there.
Yeah, she was already... Was she?
She was. Or maybe she wasn't in the Cold Palace, she was in the Pea Puddle Palace.
The Pea Puddle Palace, yeah.
Yes.
She didn't get sentenced to go to the Cold Palace until after they found out that she was poisoning her.
Yes.
And then she got sentenced to death after she found out that she was lying.
Yes.
That's funny that the poisoning wasn't the death sentence, it was the lying.
The lying. But anyways, she's convinced that this is not over and there must be somebody behind it. Jinxi agrees and says, yeah, we should have kept that bitch alive so we could interrogate her.
Uh-huh.
Bring the coals. And it's just so crazy because it's like, this is supposed to be a sister in the harem and they're talking about this as if we are in Guantanamo Bay and we needed to keep her alive so we could torture her into confessing.
Well, actually, she was never supposed to be a sister in the harem.
That's true. That's true. She conned her way to the top. And now, how the mighty fall.
But they can't bring her back to life, so they're like, we'll put on another show.
We're going to put on a show.
And we'll figure it out.
Who knew that Zhen Huan was...
A stunt queen.
She's a stunt queen.
A director. A producer.
A multi-hyphenate.
So in the next scene, we see the time crier is spooked.
Oh, girls, we're spooky now.
What is the time crier?
They go around and say, it's 12 o'clock, go to bed. Dong, it's 12 o'clock, go to bed.
Yeah, but they get spooked by a white shadow with long hair.
And girl, I was fucking spooked too. The first time I saw this, I screamed.
It's flying. What kind of sorcery is this?
She is flying right in front of them somehow. And I was not ready for this.
Me neither. It's funny because we were joking last time about...
We were literally joking about this with our guest last week. About like, ooh, like this show is so dramatic. Like, ooh, what's it going to be next? Ghosts? Bitch. Spirits and spookiness?
And then here it is. And then we see, in the garden, we see...
Fucha Guiren.
Who's Fucha Guiren?
She was the girl who played the zither.
Is that her name, Fucha?
Fucha.
Okay.
She was playing the zither at the staff Christmas party.
Yeah.
And she lives with An Ling Rong.
She hears the crying sound. Are you done?
I was waiting for you to be her.
It wasn't a ghost crying sound. It was the crying from the time criers, yeah?
No, it was supposed to be Yu Daiying's mysterious, otherworldly vengeance cry.
You know, it would have been fierce if somebody else could sing the opera.
Oh, the kunchu! Yes, if it was like a ghostly kunchu.
And they could have got like the ghost to sing the opera.
Oh my god, with full choreo.
That would have been fun, yeah. And then out comes the ghost again and spooks all of them.
Her servants fully drop her on the ground. They leave her.
Oh, now we gotta go?
They said, this is above my pay grade. They drop her, they run away, they're like, ghost!
Acting school was above this girl's pay grade.
No! She did a great job because she couldn't move. She was so scared. She just could sit in the chair and go, a ghost! A ghost!
That's what you get for letting bitches walk you around all day. Walk for yourself.
Yeah, her legs are too tired
Her
to
legs
walk.
are too tired.
She could not run away if she wanted.
But then it is revealed that the ghost is Xiao Yunzi.
And he does this in a sickening middle part reveal. He gets the hair, parts it around his face, and gives us that daddy smirk like, huh, I did that.
He loves being up in drag.
The power of drag. Drag reveals who you are. Thank you, RuPaul.
And so the next day we see Fucha is in her bed, and she has all the girls around her. Mm-hmm. We got the little bitty girl back.
A roly-poly girl. We finally see her.
Yes. Not snacking down on cookies this time.
No.
But she is terrified at the spooky encounter, and her and her maid exaggerate the story. They have seen bloody eyes.
Bloody teeth.
they didn't see any eyes or any teeth.
A tongue hanging out. Full demon. And Anling Rong can hardly maintain her straight face.
Because she knows what's going on.
I guess she must. Because at this point in the episode, we don't know. And so Anne is really showing me that she is that girl. That I knew she was, and I love her because she fully goes in to say, well, let me steer the conversation and say, ooh, maybe it's the ghost of a girl who was framed and was recently murdered by the eunuchs in the cold palace
and
just the other day.
She's here to get her revenge on whoever framed her.
And one of the girls goes, oh, yeah, you're so right.
Yep, it's her.
It's her. It must be. So the rumor catches like fire. The ruse is off to the races. And they decide, well, what are we going to do about this ghost story? And they say, we can't tell the emperor. He hates ghosts.
Don't do it.
He is not a believer in the spiritual. So we've got to just handle this ourselves by doing nothing.
So it's the next day in the workroom, and some of the concubines are discussing the recent haunting.
Yes, all the girls are there. Li Pin is there, Hua Fei is there, Shen Mei Zhuang is there, Anling Rong is there, but
Zhen Huan is not there.
Zhen Huan is not there, and neither is Cao Guiren.
Oh yeah, where's she at?
Her daughter is sick. The princess is sick. And Hua Fei wants none of this. She says, wow, the emperor once said, only dumb bitches talk about ghosts. So, all of y'all are showing how dumb you are. And if there's so many people who saw it and are spreading the stories, of course it's going to get more and more exaggerated each time you tell it. I am no stranger to the gossip.
You know, he probably said that to her. She probably talked about ghosts one time, and he probably, shut it down.
Shut it
down.
down.
You dumb bitch. And no, that's why now she's out here being a cunt about it.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, she goes at Chi Fei. Because Chi Fei also was there with Fucha Guiren, living in that same palace with Anling Rong. So she says, wow, Chi Fei, it must have been so long since the emperor visited you that you forgot. So why are you talking about it here?
She's like, y'all talk so much shit in private. You can talk about these ghosts, but do it to yourselves. Don't bring that in here.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you hated when she was alive, naturally she will look for if she comes back. The rest of the people don't need to bother.
And finally, Shen Zhuang gets a little quip in, and it doesn't fall flat. She finally gets this dagger in, and she responds, "Yes,娘娘, you're right."
娘娘教诲的是，于是又没有人指使，当然是自己作孽，自己遭罪。若是有人指使的话，他10成9也要去找那害死他的人，好好的问问，凭什么拿他做刀子使。
If you had no mastermind behind her, naturally she deserved everything. But if there was a mastermind behind her poisoning, she will most likely look for who used her to ask that mastermind why she must be the one to bear all of the punishment and be the scapegoats. And as she says this, the camera cuts over to Li Ping, who is squirming.
Yeah.
Like she's got one of those invisible vibrators.
She's like, fuck. She's coming for me. I'm the one she's talking about.
Wringing her hands, trying to pretend like everything's normal.
Have you ever had one of those?
No, but I would like to.
We should get one.
I think they're on Taobao.
Can I be in charge of it?
You know what? That can be one of the challenges.
Yes,
that can
okay.
be one of the challenges. Okay, look forward to our subscribers. You can see that in one of the challenges. So in the next scene, the Empress and Huafei are offering incense up at the temple. There's a great shot of these two little dolls.
Okay.
Up on the altar.
Okay, so I understood that earlier when I asked, like, I need to know what's going on here. I don't need to know what's going on here. I need to know what's going on with the set. Because I've been to many temples in China, and we don't have these plush dummies up on the thing. They're super extravagant. We even went to the Mongolian one in Kunming.
Yes.
And there was no dummies.
Yes, that is true. I was a little confused about those specific dummies because I lived in Mongolia and I never saw anything of the sort. And so I am a little confused about this. I would say cultural alert if I knew what it was, but I don't. So unfortunately, again, Jin Shui Jia, send us some whispers in the palace so that we can distribute the message far across the land.
But yeah, they are there having a little prayer session for the haunting. And they ask the priest to exorcise the cold palace too.
And Huafei hates this idea.
What the fuck?
Huafei's like, no, if we do an exorcism, it's just going to let the girls think that we believe that the ghost is real, and both you and I know there is no ghost.
But yeah, they need to do the exorcism just to let people have peace of mind.
Yeah, just to say, okay, y'all, we did it.
Look,
There's
it's gone, no more.
Yeah. And so, allegedly they do it, because the next scene, we're back in the workroom, and allegedly the exorcism has taken place. I wish we had seen it. I think that would have been a fierce scene.
That would have been fun.
I would have loved to see how they do it. Teach us how to exorcise a place, in case we need to in the future.
Every dark-sided person, get out of my house. If you believe in Jesus, you can stay here. Don't stay in my house if you're dark-sided. I rebuke it in the name of the Lord, Mom.
Zhen Huan is finally back, and she says, "Thank you, Empress, for letting me be absent the last couple days. You know, I've been sick, either with cephalalgia or with just fear."
Why is she always sick?
I don't know.
Was she actually sick, or is this another?
Well, she must have had a lot of sick days in her contract because she's using every single one.
Yeah.
After a bit of chatting with the girls, suddenly, again, dojo, the thunder and the lightning. And so the Empress is like, I don't want all y'all to get reined in and stay here with me too long, so y'all go. Go now. But, I do want to say, in this scene, Jen is serving, okay? Because she's got earring on this side and then a long dangle from her hair from the other side. She's in, like, a
Just the blue one.
pastel sitting, like... It's fierce. And the Empress is in this gigantic gold, and her hair is like, it's not the flat hair that a lot of the young girls have. It's like a rounder hair.
It's a rounder one. It's like, I think it's the one from our
photo.
Our
album art.
Yeah.
Could be. And so these two girls get toots from me. They're in my tops.
Yeah, I love the like earth tones from the Empress. So they all leave and they're like outside chatting. Huafei tries to take a dig at Zhen Huan, and she's like, yeah, you might be healthier, but your skin looks like crap. So, the taste of nightmares is not nice to bear, is it?
And Zhen Huan is like, this is my moment. Okay, everybody in places. Let me put on my show. Nyang, don't say that. These type of things of ghosts will haunt you if you talk about them.
And Huafei says, you must be really scared out of your mind. How do you speak such rubbish in front of me? Because she's over here like, this shit's not real.
Right, y'all quit talking about this ghost. She does not believe. However, this is not necessarily for her. This is for Li Pin, who does believe in these ghosts. So then Anne, Fu Cha Gui Ren, they both come in and they add extra salt and pepper to this. And they amp up the fire by saying, oh, but no, lots of people saw the ghost, and yeah, I saw it too, and yeah, we gotta be really careful because it's gonna come for the person who she's mad about. And as they're talking, Li Pin is just getting shakier and shakier and shakier.
What? Dork-sided!
Jen finally adds oil into this fire, and she says, well, I heard that when the emperor sentenced her to suicide, not one of her good Judies came to talk to her. Not a single one of her sisters came to check in on her, who she was loyal to in life. She died in an awful fashion in the cold palace, and she must bear a huge grudge. But as the saying goes, if you don't do anything bad, you shouldn't be guilty. And you shouldn't be scared when a ghost comes knocking at your door.
And Huafei is so irritated at them talking about this, and so she leaves, and Li Pin follows behind her. And then
Cue the ominous music.
Yes. We see Xiao Yunzi fly by.
Girl, he is the riggery of this, okay? Because elevated and moving.
It's Kung Fu. He knows Kung Fu.
I don't know if it's the Kung Fu. I think it's a little bit more of like acrobatics.
It's like Kung Fu. It's like Jackie Chan Kung Fu.
No, bitch.
You ever seen a Jackie Chan movie?
I have, and they use ropes too, bitch.
And they be flying.
With ropes. It flies by Li Pin. Everybody starts screaming and fainting.
Yeah, and then he flies by again, and then it's just too much.
It's too much. They drop her. They start running. And nearby, Zhen Huan and the girls hear this commotion, and they say, oh, go get everybody. Come on, let's go look.
And then Zhen Huan turns to Jinxi, and she's like, go get the Empress.
She's going to want to see this. And so this whole scene starts happening. And this is such a dramatic scene that before we get into it, I think I need to have a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Oh my god, girl. Where did you get that confident and sexy glow? I've never seen you like this before.
I just left my class at Zero Gravity Pole Dance.
Zero Gravity Pole Dance? Girl, that's just you on a Saturday night.
Now, I know you've seen me at the club, and I'm just showing off what I have learned at Zero Gravity. They offer an inclusive environment, and they also offer a variety of classes for different levels. I started off at the virgin level, and I've worked my way up. And that's what I've been showing off at the club.
I'm gonna get me a man's this way.
I know, but now that we have been locked in the house for a long time, it has become a little bit difficult. But luckily, Zero Gravity offers in-person and online classes.
Amazing! So you're saying that I can become the pole dancing vixen goddess of my dreams right from the comfort of my own home?
Absolutely. Especially with Zero Gravity Pole Dance.
Amazing. And guess what? If you use discount code WHITEGAZE, you can get up to 0% off your first booking.
So that's code WHITEGAZE for 0% off your first booking at Zero Gravity Pole Dance.
I'll see you on the pole. And we are back. Ah! I saw a ghost.
Huafei is so annoyed by this.
Very. She got to get out of her seat, go over to Li Ping, because Li Ping is at the wall. Like, I saw it. She's like, shut the fuck up.
And then she starts going off about like, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Like, she made me do it.
And she says, eunuch, Joining High, gag her. So he runs over there, picks her up off the ground, and
covers her mouth.
Because Li Ping, as we've said it before, has a big fucking mouth, and she doesn't know when to shut the fuck up.
Did I lie?
And Huafei's like, take her home. And Shen Meizhuang quickly steps up, and she's like, we're not doing that.
No, I just heard her confess to a poisoning scheme, and we need to report this immediately.
Huafei is like, no, bitch, I am in charge of the harem, so I can...
You can't tell me what to fucking do.
I think I can handle it.
She's coming to my house because she does not want Li Ping to be around anybody else. She wants to control Li Ping so she doesn't say any shit, and so that she can, make sure that the cover-up doesn't blow up.
Because she's already said too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zhen Huan comes in, and she's like, I don't want to make any trouble for you, but Li Ping just mentioned...
That she poisoned literally me.
That she was poisoning me. I'm the victim here, and so I want to...
I feel like I have a say, and I would like this to be reported to the Empress too. Now, little do they know that they're really just buying time for the Empress to arrive.
Yeah.
Because Huafei is like, shut the fuck up, we're about to leave, and right as they turn around to go, we hear...
皇后娘娘驾到!
And, bitch, okay, Huafei is an actress because I believe all of her facial expressions, her physicality, the way that she moves in this scene, I was feeling for her. And so when the Empress arrives and she turns around, on her face, you can tell she's like, oh, fuck. This is quickly getting out of my control. And she's a control freak, okay? I think when she does it with the Emperor likes it because she's a dom. And she ties the Emperor up and she rides it until it's raw. And then she doesn't stop. And anyways, the Empress comes up, and I love the way that they set down her sedan because it's effortless. She goes from sitting to now I'm walking.
Standing and walking, yeah. It's a pretty smooth transfer.
That was fly. And did you notice that her eunuchs wear red?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
All of her eunuchs that were carrying her were wearing red. And all the eunuchs for the girls are wearing blue.
Yeah. And the Empress is like, what's going on here? Why are y'all gagging her?
Why are y'all gagging so? And Huafei says, well, you know what? She is a little crazy. We're just going to take her home. And she's like, you're going to walk her home with your hand on her mouth? Your dirty little eunuch hand? Who knows where that's been? Take it off now. And the minute that they take the hand off of her mouth, she's like,
娘娘救我！你干什么？娘娘于是来了，那事不是我让她做的，不是。
Tell me! Save me! Tell them that it wasn't me. I didn't tell her to poison her. I didn't tell her to poison her. And the girls are like, Huafei is of course gagged and being like, shut the fuck up, you crazy bitch. What are you saying? Of course it wasn't you. None of us did that.
The Empress orders Li Ping to come home with her, and Huafei tries to persuade her to not let her do that.
Don't.
Yeah, she
tries to use her authority. She's like, listen, I'm in charge of the harem. I think that this is not the best. This is what...
Right, it's going to be too annoying for you. I'm going to stay up with her crazy ass all night. I don't mind doing the extra work. And the Empress is like, no, she just talked about a crime that we have to investigate.
And Zhen Huan jumps in and she's like, yeah, this is what needs to happen. Because I don't feel safe.
Well, she jumps in and just says, good night, Empress, to say, like, we're done talking.
You said she's coming home with you.
Great.
Conversation over.
Thank you. Next. And basically, Huafei just has to eat it. And this is the first time in the whole show where we've seen Huafei, like, lose this dramatically on the screen. And, bitch, I'm scared for her.
I'm not.
Fully on the first episode, I said that I did not fuck with Huafei. Mm-hmm. But now, I'm addicted to her. Without, like, I'm just thinking, like, without her, like, she is the big counterbalance to Zhen Huan.
Mm-hmm.
She is what keeps the story from being too, like, sickly sweet and just cutesy drama. She brings the drama, the murder, bitch. She put a girl in the well. Episode 1.
And she was out here poisoning Zhen Huan.
Yes. So I'm just really shaking in my boots for her. Because I'm becoming a fan.
In the next scene, we are back at Zhen Huan's place, and the girls are gathering, and they're like, "Oh, bitch, we did it!
They're kikiing. They're having a good time, celebrating."
We have revealed that Anling Rong is the mother of the house,
Painted by Anne.
Yes, she is a drag mom.
Quan Bi sewed the garment. Okay. So when Xiao Yunzi gets his legendary legend star, he's got 2 girls to thank on the main stage for giving such a sickening performance. And they're like, "I'm so sorry you had to be the ghost, Xiao Yunzi." And he's like, "No, I like that. Can I do it again?"
When they walked in, he was like still acting it out. And he was like, "Honestly, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was scared.
I was gagged." So it was a good time for all the girlies, but Zhen Huan is like, "All right, fun's over, burn it."
Yeah, you got to get rid of the evidence.
We don't want any wigs, no synthetic wigs, no white garments, out of here.
You know that wig wasn't synthetic. You know they went and killed a horse or something for that.
No, do you think they... Okay, this is dark. Do you think they went to one of the maids, beat her up, and shaved her head?
I mean, honestly, like, I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but, like, what if it was,
Yu Guanyu's hair? Oh my god, they went to the mass grave and shaved her head and made a lace front.
That would be sickening.
Oh my god.
Well, Anling Rong is, like, I think she's, like, done this to, like, prove her loyalty.
Again,
to, like, get back in.
It was her idea.
Yeah.
And she killed Yu Guanyuzi.
Well, because she's like, y'all aren't going to blame me for being so ruthless. I did all of this so we could be safe in this palace. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, we're all sisters. We would all do this.
She's getting a little paranoid because she overheard them before. She's like really sensitive to what they're telling her, but she doesn't believe it because she heard what they said when she wasn't there.
But the girls, like, they reassure her. They're like, no, we love you.
You
we
slayed.
thank you.
Okay?
You saved us.
You literally slayed.
All right, so in the next scene, we are at Hua Fei's place, and she is pacing restlessly. And she is with Tao Guiren and the little princess.
But let me tell you, I fucking hate children because Hua Fei yells at her one time and then she cries the entire scene. That baby is in the background just wailing. And I hated it. I was like, I don't get this child off the screen. I hate it.
Yeah, I like children when they're cute, not when they're babies. Cause like, I don't want to I can't be out here changing diapers, dealing with crying.
No,
I deal with crying sometimes, but it's like I can be kind of cunty about it.
No, I can't deal with crying at all. I say, oh, you're crying? You can go to the hall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like if somebody's crying, I get to be like kind of a little cunty about it. Yeah. But like you can't do that with a baby. They don't know what the fuck you're saying.
But she is cunty to Tao Guiren and says, like, what the fuck is going on? This was your plan, and now it's blowing up in my face. Like, I can't believe I agreed to this, and you guys are dragging me down. And she was like, well, and Tao Guiren is trying to like make her feel better and say, well, let me tell you this. It was an intentional ploy. They knew that you did not fear ghosts, but they knew that Li Ping feared ghosts, so that's why they did this trick. And then Hua Fei turns and she's like, wait a minute, a trick?
A trick?
Girls are playing a prank on me. We got some stunt queens in our presence.
It has to be Zhen Huan.
It's got to be that sickly bitch Zhen Huan, and I'm going to go through her palace, I'm going to turn over everything, and I'm going to search it, and I'm going to make sure that we catch her. And of course, it's a bad idea.
They've already burned the wigs, honey.
And Tao Guiren says, you are too close to this. If you were to go and do that, of course everybody would see that it's all eyes on you. So you need to just let it go. Besides, we've already established that Li Ping is crazy.
A crazy person's words cannot be trusted.
Exactly. And again, I want to commend Hua Fei on her physical acting because whenever Hua Fei's in a good mood, She puts her shoulders back, her hips go out, and she does this like saunter thing.
She's like,
she
walks.
Guess who's back in the house? And so allegedly, there's some ploys. So Huafei she's got a plan.
Mm-hmm. So we're back in the workroom, and the Empress is
about to start this investigation, calling the witnesses.
She's like, okay, so somebody needs to tell me what's going on. And then Huafei and the Empress Dowager walk in.
Everybody kneels.
And the Empress Dowager's like, okay, I'm going to take care of this.
So she alley-ooped it. She went over the Empress's head to the Empress Dowager to hopefully stop the Empress's investigation.
I don't know why she didn't think of this to begin with.
She was mad. She was in her feelings. She was nervous.
Yeah, and I guess it was just like kind of immediately.
Yes. And this is a gag for the girls because our main girls did not expect for this to happen. They're like, oh, fuck. Well, that didn't go quite right. So then they're dismissed and they're walking home. Shen's got some fucking big hair. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
It goes up. It's like asymmetrical. And she's got a gigantic flower up at the top because she's still claiming her Juhua. And Shen believes that the Empress getting involved is good because it's going to help the Empress since they're related.
Yeah, but Zhen Huan is thinking that Huafei is the one that invited the Dowager to take over. And so she thinks that Huafei is trying to get herself out of this mess.
Mm-hmm.
Which she is.
By inviting her in, somehow she's been able to extract herself from it.
To distract from it being literally her.
And there's a really great quote here. I'm going to put it in, but they're like, well, girls, I don't know what's going on. And Shen Meizhuang says something like, well, have you ever heard about the calm before the storm?
小时候听人说，但凡海上有风暴来临前，海面总是格外平静。
In the next scene, we see the Empress Dowager and the Empress, and they're talking. The Dowager says that Li Ping is going to the Cold Palace.
Brrr, bitch.
Because she's crazy.
And she looks really sad. She looks very disappointed by this news.
Well, maybe she likes Li Ping.
Maybe. But she says, well, she was useless enough to, be scared by a ghost. Like, how childish of her. And, obviously, a guilty conscience needs no accuser. I love that line. A guilty conscience needs no accuser. Because they're going to come out with it themselves.
Uh-huh. And she did.
But even though both of them at this point know that it was Huafei who is also involved with it, because she is crazy and she's the only witness, they know that it's a dead end. Mm-hmm. But then they get into the politics of it all, too.
Because nobody's going to trust what Li Ping has to say because she's crazy.
And because of Huafei's political placement. The Empress Dowager reminds us that she is the sister of, the highest general in the army. And that the reason she's like this is because, I didn't know this either. She married the emperor when he wasn't even the emperor yet. When he was still a prince.
Yeah, that was...
Huafei has been a concubine since the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so the emperor likes this personality in her. And since basically all the laws in the kingdom come down to how the emperor feels on a given day, they know that it's not necessarily a winning battle to try to prosecute Huafei for this. So they've decided they're going to let the investigation stop at Li Ping, and they're going to give credit to the Empress for solving the case, not the Empress Dowager. But the Empress Dowager is going to take away Huafei's authority to manage the harem.
And now Shen Meizhuang is going to take over. And let's take a break.
Yeah, I need to cool off after all this drama.
And we're back.
Let's pray.
We see Jade, and she runs into Anne at the temple, and she tells Anne that she has been asked by Zhen Huan to burn some offerings for you.
Yes, to help her spirit in the afterlife wherever she is going to. And then she's like, yeah, anyways, I have to go now, bye. And she runs away.
And Anne is concerned about this because she's like, why does she want to give these offerings to you?
Is she blaming me? Like, does she think I was too harsh again? Like, you know, all this stuff. And then her maid is like, no, don't worry. Like, she's directly responsible for that bitch's death. Somebody walks by and they go, peace.
as in the middle of their talking, they're just like, they give him a little
bow, namaste. Little hands, namaste. Like, they're talking about brutal murder, and then they just go, oh, yes. I live.
Short little scene, but next we see that the Emperor is back, and he immediately steps off the plane and goes to see Zhen Huan.
Exactly, immediately. And you can tell that Zhen Huan has
that was Monty's joke. I have to give him that.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing.
I got that from Monty.
You can tell that Zhen Huan has been to F45 because she is doing her best little staggered squat. One little leg is behind, and she goes all the way down. And he basically says, I've heard from my mom, and she told me about the whole poisoning scheme. I'm so sorry. And she's like, well, I'm sorry that you had to hear about it. I know it's annoying, and you don't like ghosts, and la-da-dee-da-dee. And she's like, no, but because my mom was involved, that means it's very serious. My mom would not get involved in these petty affairs.
She's only getting involved because she's annoyed. And because she is involved with this, it's like a message to the girls that you better...
Cut the shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Zhen Huan is like, well, all I wish for is peace and the harmony. And it's like, little bitch, you did all this drama. You pulled these stunts.
Did I lie?
And now you're sitting here being like, wow, I just wanted a boring life.
I guess.
Anyways, he must spend the night because in the next scene, it's the next day, and she is like making some ink for him. And Huan Bi is there as well. Jade is there just sitting, attending. And the Emperor's asking about her father, and she's like, well, basically, my dad's like a little sick. He needs all this medicine. And the Emperor's like, yeah, I'll send it to him. And she's like, oh my God, thank you.
She did what needed to be done.
She did.
That's why she came here.
She's a crafty little bitch. That's what I'm saying. She is pulling all these strings and pretending like she's just sitting like, ooh, what's all this going on around me? I'm just a pretty girl who's sick all the time.
She did exactly what she came there to do. She came to the palace to take care of her family.
And she is. And the Emperor comments on that. He's like, wow, your family is so healthy and loving. Cut to Huan Bi, heartbroken and sad. Because she doesn't have a nice family like that.
I wonder when it will be revealed.
Well, we keep dropping these hints. Because in the next scene, it's nighttime. And Jade is secretly burning offerings to her mother on the anniversary of her death. Now, culture alert. Culture alert. Did you know what was happening the first time you watched the scene?
Yes, I did. But the first time that I ever saw this in public, I did not.
Oh.
But I saw it just like on a random weekend one time. Maybe it was the anniversary of like one of my neighbor's parents or something. And I see like a chalk outline, and it's in some very random spot, and then like all of this just like burning shit in the middle of it.
Right.
And I was like, what in the satanic ritual is going on out here?
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, she did.
I was really confused when I watched the scene, so I had to ask Monty, and he was like, well, it's so that you're burning fake money so that in the afterlife, the people that you're praying for will have some money to spend. And so she's burning some money for her ancestors so that they can go on a shopping spree on the anniversary of her mother's death. And what I think is really poignant about the scene is that she specifically mentions that hopefully my father is burning you money as well, if he even remembers. So does she know who her father is, or is she talking to like the mysterious father who she doesn't know but she assumes is still alive?
Mysterious father.
Okay. Now,
Tao Gui Ren walks up. And she's like, what the fuck's going on? What is that noise? What is that smell? And she walks up and she's like, what are you doing?
And she kicks the fire down and she's trying to be like, oh, nothing. Hee hee. It's just
But
me.
why y'all got to lie?
She's like, you can't be out. This is a royal garden, bitch. You can't be out here doing stuff like this. And she's just asking for forgiveness. And she explains to her that it's like the anniversary of her mother's death. And she's like, okay.
But also, if you're so close with Zhen Huan, who gives you special food and special clothes,
why don't you just do it at your palace?
Yeah, why wouldn't she allow you to do it there? And she's just like, actually, just don't tell Zhen Huan at all. Please, I'm begging of you, don't tell Zhen Huan. And Cao Guiwen says, aha, okay, fine.
Put it in my pocket, put it in my pocket, in my back pocket, put it in my pocket, in my pocket, in my back pocket. That's what she's doing with this information.
Oh, okay.
All right, so in the next scene, we see the Empress, Shen Meizhuang, Zhen Huan, and the Emperor, and they are going through the budget. There's
and Shen Meizhuang is showing us that she scored very high on her Gaokao because they're like, well, this is the price of
4 exorcisms.
4 exorcisms. All the soup that we give to the eunuchs is this, and all of the this is this. And so, how much is that?
Well, he's like 32 RMB for mung bean soup every week. How much is that a month? And she's like,
yeah, I'm Jen, just counting on my fingers, like 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, Shen Meizhuang is like, oh, that
it's
costs
960.
960. I got that in my mind. And just showing the girls that she is good at this palace management shit. But they're trying to figure out where in the budget to cut. I mean, that's all the thing. They always want to cut the budgets, these rich people.
Yeah, they're like, well, that's too much money on the servants. But like we can't take their food away.
Because they're going to be mad at me. And they're going to poison me, bitch.
Yeah, and she's like, you know what? No, we're not going to do that. Y'all are giving me way too much food.
I'm a skinny girl. I don't eat that much.
Why y'all giving me 7 chickens, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken, turkey, carrots, you name it.
I don't need all that, okay? Just give me 1 ice cube in my mouth and I'm okay.
And so she's like, so we can cut back on that. We can give some of that food to the eunuchs. And then they can have that 32 tassels or teals. What is this currency?
I don't know.
Tails? Tails. They can have their 32 taels a day for
whatever they want.
Extras.
Yeah.
Extras. If they want that mung bean soup, they get it.
Right. And the emperor just thinks that she is so charming and is so smart. And she's like, well, Zhen Huan, what do you think about this arrangement? And Zhen Huan is like, I don't know, ma'am.
She's like, I'm just sitting here sipping my tea while she's doing all the work.
I don't ask me. I'm good. And then, Shen Meizhuang takes the compliment about being the smart girl and says, no, the Empress has helped me a lot with this. But the Emperor's like, no, Shen, like, you're really smart. And
Zhen Huan's like, oh, so you're calling me dumb?
And she's like, hee. And then outside, we see Hua Fei roll up because she wants to say hi to her daddy, too.
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah, so Hua Fei's coming up and Zhang Fuhai blocks her and is like, no, it's conjunctivitis. You don't want to talk to
It's
him.
cephalogylagia. She cannot come to the door.
Cephalagia.
She cannot come to the door. And she's like, well, I can go in and I can help. And then they hear from inside.
Y'all mumbling and cackling? Y'all sending group text messages about the motherfucking queen while the queen is in the motherfucking stew?
Right, she's like, I hear them laughing. I'm going in. And then
he's like, it's not a good idea. You do not want to go in there.
If he sees you, he's going to be mad.
And then she just points her little finger right into his face. And then walks off.
And walks away.
She goes over to Cao Guiwen. And
she is mad as hell. Cao Guiwen comes in and says, Nyang Nyang, Qing, Ping An. And Hua Fei picks up a fan and chucks it at her face. And it whacks her in the head. And makes her little hair come undone.
Interesting. So, no scarlet red for Miss Hua Fei whenever she wants to hit the bitches?
No, because there's no witnesses, and she gets to decide. So she rears up, she chucks this thing at her, and Cao Guiwen does not even dare to move. And she's like, oh, I guess all this hot weather has got you feeling some kind of cunty. And Hua Fei says, you were just from a stupid, dumb, poor family. You were nothing. You were selected, sent to the prince's residence, and you didn't even have a chance to see the emperor then. If not for me, I recommended you get fucked by the emperor, and then you did. And then you got pregnant, and you had a daughter. And now, I'm in big trouble. Li Ping is in big trouble because you gave bad advice. You're useless. And what do you have to say for yourself?
Slay her, drag her, read her.
She's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't know what I did, but I'll accept any punishment.
And she says, don't act fucking dumb. You were the one who told me to go to the Empress Dowager and get her involved. And now I've been stripped of managing the harem. Now I can't even see the emperor. And now I've got nothing but all of these eyes watching me.
And so she's like, well, Li Ping said a lot of things, but they were the words of a crazy person. And even the emperor and the dowager have suspicions, but they have no proof. So nothing's going to happen. Even if you have no power now, you're able to protect yourself.
Right. She's like, it's better that you are alive, bitch. Okay? You may be taking some hints, but my advice did get you to stay a fucking alive. Right? And she's basically re-emphasizing that everything comes down to what the emperor thinks. So you're in a bad position now, but as long as he gets to like you again in the future, you're gonna be fine, girl. You're gonna be fine.
And Huafei goes, that's easy for you to say. Now that Zhen Huan has hooked the emperor and the empress is helping to block me, now I can't even see the emperor easily. Like, I tried to go there today, and usually I could just walk up in there and get whatever I want. And I walked in there and they wouldn't let me in.
But Tao Guiren, you know, being the bearer of all this abuse, is like, you know what, girl, I'll do everything that I can to make sure that you see the emperor. By the way, my daughter is very beloved by the emperor. Wink, wink.
So Huafei is like, yeah, you are like, Li Ping is like an embroidered pillow. Very nice to look at, but completely useless. You are more fortunate because you have a daughter. Unlike me, I do not even have a daughter to depend on. But look at your messy ass hair and you're still chatting with me? And she's like, bring in the girls. We need to get this bitch's hair fixed.
Yeah, do your hair.
I can't believe you sat here this whole time chatting to me with this fucked up wig.
Go brush your hair, bitch. Go brush your hair.
But by the way, I'm going to redo your hair. You're going to go get your daughter. And you're going to wear my hairpin. And then you're going to go to the emperor wearing my hairpin with your daughter. And you're going to deliver the message. Understood?
What does it have it on a phoenix? It was a phoenix hairpin?
I don't know.
She said like there's a phoenix. I think it's a phoenix.
And that's where we end the episode. What do you think is going to happen now?
So do you think that Cao Guiren will get into the palace wearing Huafei stuff?
Yes. Yes. And I do hope that in the future there is a solo scene between the emperor and Huafei. Because there is an undeniable sexual chemistry between the two. Remember the scene where he like put his finger down her body into the waistband and then walked into the night with her. So I think if Huafei can get him alone somehow, she'll be able to patch things up for sure.
I think there will be a big drama between the two of them. If they ever are just them two alone, I think it'll be kind of like a drama. Like she will be like, what the fuck's going on here?
Oh my God. And she's going to give.
She already gets so dramatic, like, whenever she's, like, thinking about it. She's like, well, I don't have any kids.
Right. I do think that Anling Rong is going to continue to get more and more paranoid because clearly she's not taking these reassurances to heart.
Yeah.
So I just wonder how that will manifest.
Yeah, I guess Cao Guiren will continue to be she's picking up little cookies everywhere to have all this information. We've already got Jade
is maybe compromised,
burning the things.
Yeah,
she's gonna go get information from the palace to bring back to Huafei.
Right.
But ultimately, she's probably gonna take a fall too for Huafei.
Maybe. Well, it does seem that the walls are closing in around Huafei. The lowest ranked girl is gone. Now Li Ping is gone, but Ping is above Guiren. So, yeah. So I don't know. But anyways, her allies are falling. So hopefully she can find some new allies.
I'm hoping that we get a big reveal of the sisterhood of Jade and Zhen Huan soon. We get the little hints, little droplets, but we haven't had the big reveal. I hope that comes soon.
And please, for the love of God, bring the 17th prince back.
You know what?
What the fuck?
I want Vermilion back. Where was she at this episode?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, she wasn't there at all.
I miss her.
She was burning coals.
Do we want to take a break?
Let's take a break.
Okay. Hey girl, I am at Alimentari right now and the wait is way too long.
You're kidding me. How long are they saying?
They're saying an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. That is a certainly long amount of time. But no worries. Guess what?
What?
I have learned to live and dine like an Italian from the comfort of my own home.
How did you do that?
With the Alimentari Home Cookbook. I'm able to recreate my Alimentari favorites from cover to cover. The book is filled with recipes from risotto al marinara to lombata d'agnello, not to mention the crowd favorite, crostata al limon.
Oh, I love that one.
Exactly. You can pick up this cookbook if you want from any of the Alimentari locations on Anfu-Lu, on Wuding-Lu, on Donghulu, on Kangding-Lu, or from Bar Centrale on Yangping-Lu.
Lovely. Do they tell you how to make a pizza?
Oh, girl, do they tell you how to make a pizza? They tell you how to make a ravioli, spinaci e ricotta. They tell you how to make pizza. They tell you exactly how to cut the little cheeses to look beautiful on the board.
Lovely. I'll grab a bottle of Aperol and I'm on my way.
See you tonight.
And we're back, and it is time for us to get into Whispers in the Palace. This is our segment where we get to read listener feedback, who lets us know different facts about the show we may have missed, or answer some of the questions that we have on the pod. So we encourage you to comment or send us voice messages on the Anchor app. So connect with us however you want on Instagram, on Xiao Yuzhou, or on Anchor, and we can relay your messages all throughout the palace. So Westi, what is our first whisper?
First, we have from Travis. They say that back then people used traditional lunar calendars, and Zhen Huan was born in lunar April. So that would be approximately May. And some Zhen Shuijia looked up the calendar of 1707. And supposedly the year she was born in, the Zhen Huan, is supposed to be a Taurus. And this, I like hearing this because on Zhen Huan's birthday, I posted on my Instagram, I was like, ooh, happy birthday. And somebody came at me and she was like, it says May 17th, but it's April 17th. And I was like, you know what? I didn't make the calendar, bitch.
Mm-hmm. The calendar changes every year.
But so that's good insight. Thank you, Travis.
Yes, thank you, Travis. Our next whisper also comes from Travis, and he lets us know that their name tags are literally called Luto Pai, which literally means green head tag. Luto Pai.
Luto Pai.
Mm-hmm.
That's like whenever he's selecting the girls.
Yes, on their name tags. Because remember before we were talking about like Pai Zi. We were like, well, is that the plate or is that the thing? We know now. Yes.
Fabulous.
Now, I do want to say to our Zhen Shuijia, we do want to hear more from you. And specifically, we need the links to the fanfiction. So hopefully the next time we do this segment of Whispers in the Palace, you guys can tell us where to find the steamy fanfiction that we are burning up about.
Yeah, specifically Emperor and 17th Prince.
Yes, thank you.
And that was
Whispers in the Palace.
All right. And now is time for
本周心机争宠装.
Okay, my top look is the Empress.
Ooh,
Mine was the Empress. I liked hers. Because everybody's wearing these bright colors, and so it's kind of weird that she stands out wearing browns and tans and caramels.
I was going to say Enling Rong again, because she was still serving and slaying in that rose color with her big hair and with the dangles when Fucha Guiren was freaking out. But I agree with you. This week, the Empress takes it for me, and it was especially with her gigantic hair.
Yeah, and the headpiece is just different.
It is.
Because specifically in that scene, I was noticing that the girls, they have a lot of, like, stones in their hair. Some citrines,
yes.
some jades.
Yes.
Some rose quartz. I don't know what the stones are. But
some turquoise.
Yes. Not turquoise.
Yeah, there was some turquoise.
I think that was tourmaline.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Now we're giving geology. Okay, we're giving rocks for the girls. Okay. But I agree. The Empress is literally metal gold. She's metallic. She is heavy, expensive.
Yeah. And it's just like a different refreshing shape.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that was
本周心机争宠装.
Okay. So this is the part of the show where we do our language challenge. And since this is a spooky episode, I've prepared a special spooky challenge for Big Westi called Choose Your Own Adventure. So I am going to run Big Westi through a story where he is the main character. At different points in the story, you will be given the option to say one of two Chinese phrases. If you say the correct Chinese phrase, you continue in the story. But if you say the wrong Chinese phrase, you're immediately killed.
Oh, I don't get killed at the end?
No,
it's just
you
like
get immediately killed.
Even first try.
So you've got to use your best Chinese skills to communicate what you need to say.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
The bandersnatch of it all.
Yes, the Squid Games girl.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. You and your girls have discovered a spooky haunted house at the edge of town, but you've heard that a secret stash of unreleased Lady Gaga tracks are in the house. So you need to go and find them. Mm-hmm. So you and your girls, you walk up to the house, it's spooky. You go up to the front door, it's mysteriously ajar. You go inside, and slam! The door is shut.
Oh my god. Hold on. The door is ajar.
Shut the fuck up. I hate you.
No, I hate that word.
Okay,
ajar.
well, it is. Anyways,
it's okay, sorry.
You discover that there's no light. You can't see a single thing. And you realize you need a flashlight. Mm-hmm. So, you have two options. You can either tell your girls, 我要手胶, or 我要手电.
手电.
Very good. You ask for the flashlight and they give you the flashlight and you turn it on. And you realize there's only one long hallway in front of you. The only direction you can go is straight forward. So you take creeping steps.
Gaily forward.
Gaily forward. You take creeping steps and you make creaking noises. And you end up in the kitchen. And you turn your flashlight around. And finally, you see a clue. So you turn around and you tell your girls, you've got two options. 我看到线索 or 我看到厕所.
我看到厕所. I said the wrong
so the options
tones, but
我看到线索 or 我看到厕所.
线索.
All right. You tell the girls that you found the clue, and they come on up and they run up, and you show them.
Is 线索 a clue?
线索 is clue, yes. You show them a Polaroid picture of a dead girl. But in her hand, you see that she's holding something. So you tell your girls that she is 她拿着一个泰迪熊. Or do you tell your girls 她拿着一件低胸裙子?
The first one. 她
拿着
他拿着一个
泰迪熊。
泰迪熊。
All right, so you tell the girl she's holding a spooky teddy bear in her hands. And right before you can decide what's going on, the ghost appears right in front of you. And she has blood in her eyes, and there is blood on her teeth, and her tongue is hanging down, and she's crying, reaching out her ghostly fingers. And you have only one moment to tell her something to appease her. Do you say to her, 我给你硬草? Or do you say, 我给你樱草?
我给你的樱草. The first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
我给你樱草.
樱草.
The ghost is not pleased that you say you're going to give her a hard fuck. And so she rips out your throat and you die.
What was the second option?
A primrose.
Okay, so I knew one of them was toilet and one of them was orange.
One of them was orange?
Maybe it wasn't. What was the second one? Or the one after the toilet?
It was a low-cut dress.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Because whenever I went out, that's why I recognize that word. Because whenever I went out, I got tested one morning. One of my little neighbors, he was just beside himself that I was wearing a what? A
低胸裙子.
Chunzi. Yes.
You were wearing a dress.
Yes. And now now every time I pass by him, he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, American, a chunzi."
But unfortunately, you did tell the ghost you wanted to give her a hard fuck. And so she did rip your throat out and you died.
Well, she was looking sexy. She was a sexy ghost.
Well, I think because you did not make it out of the haunted house alive, you've got to do a challenge, and I know exactly what it is.
Okay, what are we going to do?
It's not a we.
I mean, what am I going to do?
You are going to recreate Xiao Yunzi's ghost look.
Okay.
And you are going to do a video tutorial of how to dress up as Xiao Yunzi as the ghost.
Okay, that'll be good. All right.
Well, I think that's all we've got for today. And all that's left for us to say is 再见. If you like White Gaze, we would love for you to leave a review of our podcast, give us 5 stars, and don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen from. You can also support us by signing up to be a subscriber by going to anchor.fm/whitegaze/subscribe.
You can follow us at @reverse_cowboy_ and at Officer Trenty, and our White Gaze account is at White Gaze Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Douyin, TikTok, and the Anchor app.
White Gaze is not endorsed by Beijing TV Art Center. It is intended for entertainment purposes only. Zhen Huan Zhuan and all names, audio, pictures, and video clips are all registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respected trademark and/or copyright holders.
White Gaze is a podcast hosted by Weston Swift and Trenton Schneiders. Produced by Trenton Schneiders and Monty Shaw. Sound and audio by Trenton Schneiders. Media by Monty Shaw. Our theme song is White Gaze by Trenton Schneiders and Weston Swift.